I know. I mean, Super Bowl Sunday. What's that mean to you?
I'm wearing my pom pom hat. You know what that means? Pom pom Tom. Tom
So,
Brady.
so
That's what.
as I put on the preview here for the last couple weeks, so something tells me you have looked at every snap from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs this year. You broke it all down. The fans are out there. They want to know what is Glenn's pick. I need to make some money. It's been a tough year. I need to make a couple bucks. Glenn Foley's my guy to bail me out of the terrible 2020. I'm on DraftKings. I'm on FanDuel. I'm on BetMGM. What do I do? I need to make some money, Glenn, and I know you're the guy who's broken down everything.
Yeah. Don't bet on this game. It went back down. The only good thing is you get a push. Don't bet against Brady and don't bet against Mahomes. Don't bet the game.
But Glenn,
Hard game.
Glenn, if you're a degenerate at home and you need to bet this game, you need to get some action in, Glenn. What do you do?
You take Kansas City. They're just too hard, too good, too many weapons. They're healthy. They're running around. The Bucks are older, they're hobbled. So I just think that the health factor. AB's out there with a bad knee. Tom Brady's 44. It's a good try, I think, but I think 38-17 Mahomes
Wow.
and the Chiefs.
So you think
Yeah.
this could turn into a blowout?
Yes, I did very easily. That's why I think the under here is the pick. The Buccaneers are going to try to run the football. I actually, just because I don't, for entertainment purposes only, I took the under and Tom Brady +9.
Well, hold
So
on.
also,
So hold on. Time out.
I
Time out.
know, but don't, for the gambler out there, the smart bet is the Chiefs. Money
Even
line the Chiefs.
even though they're missing both their offensive tackles going against Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett.
That's why I like the under 2. And they got to keep the ball away from Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. So the way to do that is to run the ball and try to delay the game, drag the game out. But it's hard to do when they score in 3 plays and it's 14-0, and you're down to the Chiefs 14-0. Now you got to open it up.
The last game that these two teams played earlier in the season, Tyreek Hill had over 200 yards receiving in the first quarter, wound up 13 for 269 and 3. How much of a factor? Let me ask you a question. You're these defensive backs. This guy torched you a couple months ago for 13 for 269 and 3, including 200 in the first quarter. I know the adage is you're a cornerback, you have to have amnesia, but for the last 2 weeks, these guys have seen the film. What Tyreek Hill did to them a couple months ago when they played. How much of that you think is sticking in the defensive backfield's mind of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as we're 55 minutes away from kickoff?
It's there. There's no doubt. I watched that film. You got to keep 2 safeties back there against these guys and play a quarters look with run support coming from 2 safeties. They're going to try to run at the Chiefs because they can, but you just got to keep 2 guys back there. Tyreek Hill's one of the best wide receivers to ever step foot on the field, if not the greatest football player on the offensive side in a long time. The guy's dynamic, really dynamic. You put him with Mahomes, they're going to score points. So part of your plan is to keep the ball away from him. But 2 safeties got to be back there because once Hill gets loose, he's gone. So, but real quick, changing gears. There's so much going on. Wentz, we talked about Wentz.
Well, before I get the Wentz and the quarterbacks, I just put up a little trivia question. So if anyone out there is watching, and I discussed it with you before we went on, my man here, Glenn Foley, has something in common with both Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. If anyone can just leave a comment or a message for whatever platform you're watching, Glenn may give you a prize from his collection. Glenn's got a lot of interesting memorabilia stuff. He's wanting to get rid of something, maybe a program or something.
Well, yeah, I got a football card for you. Absolutely.
A
great.
Glenn Foley football card. There you go. Signed, right?
Yes, throwback card.
The first person who can give us the answer, what does Glenn Foley have in common with both Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady? A signed Glenn Foley football card will be yours, mailed out first thing tomorrow. So
Yeah,
you want to talk quarterbacks? Obviously, the big story here in Philadelphia, Carson Wentz looks like he's going to be traded any minute now. Hey, you know what? You know what the Eagles should do to take some steam away from from the Super Bowl? Well, they can't announce anything until March, but they should leak that the trade is complete, and they should like give it to Rappaport, and he should say something at halftime.
trade imminent. Eagles to take over the halftime report. That would be the dynamic. There's a lot of things going on. Stafford goes. Okay, Watson's going to go. Wentz is going to go, and then Breeze takes a pay cut. So you're going to see a lot of these veterans have to take pay cuts because they realize when you take $100 million, your team sucks.
Well,
so you need money to pay for these younger guys.
Well, the Texans have said that they're not trading Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, we'll see if someone offers them something stupid like 2 1s and a 2 and a couple guys. They were asked for Stafford. The original offers were ridiculous, like 2 1s, 2 2s, and players for some teams. So
let me ask you this. I'm not to interrupt. We're talking about a guy like Deshaun Watson's been in the league 4 or 5 years. Tremendous quarterback. No one's doubting that. He's a great quarterback, franchise quarterback. The guy's never won anything. I mean, I granted he hasn't. You know, he had Bill O'Brien running the show for him. Very difficult to win. Very difficult when Bill O'Brien, the general manager, is running things for you. But who the heck is he? He just got a boatload of money. The organization, you know, he doesn't like the owner. That's the bottom line. But who is he to dictate anything? The guy's never won anything.
No one has, really. The guy who just won MVP is Rodgers. He has 1 Super Bowl. 1 Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers. Now, you're talking about, we're in the Brady era now, so he's been to 10, which has never been done. It will never be repeated, but people are comparing everything to Tom Brady. Well, most guys, if they get to 2, if they win 2, you're a Hall of Famer. So win 1, you're automatically in the conversation for Hall if you have a long enough career. But yeah, you know, you got to win. You definitely have to win. But also look at Herbert. He wins Rookie of the Year. A guy I loved in the draft. Our draft show was tremendous. But he wins Rookie of the Year. But the guy can absolutely flick it. And so, but that doesn't mean he's going to win the Super Bowl. There's too much that has to happen for guys to win Super Bowl.
And Benoit, 15, first career NFL win in New England. No, that's not. You never won in New England, did you?
No, I got beat down, actually. My first start in the NFL.
That's not the answer, by the way.
It was good guess. Good guess. My first start was in New England and against Belichick. How about Coach starting me? My first start against Bill Belichick in New England. Thanks, Richie. 27-10 L. Not even close, the game. We got killed.
Good question from my buddy, boxing manager Michael Cameron. Last night we see Peyton Manning get his enshrinement, got the word from the Hall that he's a Hall of Famer. Does brother Eli get in?
Yes, absolutely gets in. He got fucked too by the Giants. They took he should still be playing on a consecutive game started streak. That asshole. He benches him and then they start him after that. I was like, wow, at least start him. And
that was Shermer, right?
I don't know who it was. It was Shermer. He had a 200 and some game start streak busted by a coach that didn't know what he was doing. That to me was the most criminal thing. And Eli always shuts up.
Oh no, that was McAdoo. Was that Ben McAdoo?
That's correct. Correct.
Has anyone heard from him since?
What a dick.
Did he land a job anywhere?
Oh no, I don't know. The Giants need to move, and the Giants need to change at the top. They think that their shit doesn't stink, and it does.
So where were we? We were of Deshaun Watson. The guy's never won anything yet. He's trying to dictate, an organization who just paid him a crap load of money.
Yeah, I don't want to but you break my arm.
By the way, we have a winner.
Oh no.
My man and Benoit, they were all drafted in the major leagues. Both,
Wow.
I mean, I'll give you some of the credit. The answer was they were both drafted in the NFL and Major League Baseball. But we'll give it to you. What we can do? I'll shoot, DM me because I know you watch on Twitter. DM me your address. We'll get it to Glenn and we'll send you a signed autographed Glenn Foley football card.
That's a tremendous giveaway. If we go back to now, I'll nail this year's draft too. There's a lot of crazy things happening at the top. They're saying now Justin Fields may go to the Jets at 2. Sam Darnold. The Jets are fielding calls for Darnold.
This is crazy. All the quarterbacks.
It is. Well, you know what's happening. COVID is going to shrink the salary cap. So these teams are panicking to get rid of these quarterbacks that are making $100 million. Goff went, Wentz is going, Watson's going, Stafford's gone, and none of them are going to New England. None of them are going to New England. New England's not dumb enough to waste that kind of money on a quarterback. That's why they were so good. Brady never took a salary. He took minimum salary, and his wife makes $80 million a minute. So. You can't. Part of being a quarterback now in the NFL is taking minimum salary.
But by the way, are you excited to see after every pass Brady throws the Giselle up in the box? You think we'll get a lot of that today?
I want a split screen. I want Giselle all game in a box of tissues.
So let's actually real quickly. Let's go AFC East. New England. The Jets, and I know this is going to warm your heart because you weren't the biggest Tua guy in the world. They're already trying to get rid of. I mean, people are trying to get rid of Tua already.
I know. I didn't love it. I was saying he was going to be the one that fell out of the picks. That they were showing him like no one's going to take him in the first 10 picks. And sure enough, the dumb Dolphins. He's a backup for the rest of his career. That's all he's going to be. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Tua's a good player. He's going to be in the league for a while, but he's going to be a backup forever. He can go in, he can manage a game, he can run a huddle, he can do all the things you need them to do that way. But he's a backup. He's a small guy with an average arm. He's Chad Pennington, but smaller. And so I loved Herbert as the best quarterback last year. I'll pick out the jewel of the draft this year. It's obvious. I was talking about Lawrence.
We got a couple months for that. We have a couple months for that. Now, so we got the Colts, who might be in the I don't know if you want to call it the Carson Wentz sweepstakes, but you got the Colts who need a quarterback. You have.
I think Wentz is a Colt. I think Wentz was a Colt in week 12 or 13 of this year. That's my gut. My gut.
The Steelers will be looking for a quarterback because they're going to try to squeeze one more year out of Ben Roethlisberger. It looks like.
Yeah, but they're a team that they're not going to waste They're not going to take a quarterback up front. They did that already. They took Mason Rudolph or whatever the guy's name is.
He was like a third-round pick. He wasn't.
I think he was his second.
I think he was a
Check
third.
Check that.
We'll look. If someone's out there wants to Google.
I think he was their first pick, and it was a second-round pick. I think that's what happened with the Steelers and Mason Rudolph.
See what round.
That's your fucking job. What are you doing? You're fucking using this person all the stats. What are you doing?
I'll look it up. Okay, so hold on. So what other teams in the AFC? Denver, are they going to move on from Drew Lock?
Well, here's the thing. Everyone needs a quarterback, but you also need you can't go into the season with just a rookie. So because you're talking about an automatic 2-14. So that's why the Eagles are in trouble if they trade Wentz away. They're due for another. They go 6-10, it'll be a good year. So
Mason Rudolph was picked in the third round of the draft. Thank you very much. It's another $1 I just won from you.
Shit.
76 pick overall.
All right. Well,
so but I'm saying all these teams. I mean, we didn't even hit everything in the AFC. There's rumors that the Raiders may trade Carr. I mean,
I could tell. I know Chucky wants out on Carr. He won't admit it. He's smiling, and it's like you hug your girlfriend while you watch the hot chicks go
Well,
by.
you know what's weird about that? I think they live next door to each other in Las Vegas. That must be
Yeah,
weird.
that's a mistake. That's a mistake. That's gonna end bad with eggs and all kinds of stuff on everything.
You
I'd be
see,
egging the coach. He makes a couple bad calls. I'm throwing eggs at him.
will there be toilet paper coming out of the trees of the Gruden household?
I'll be on top of that house.
Gruden may sick his son on him. You ever see Gruden's son?
Yeah, he's brick. And how about speaking of families? Let's go real quickly to Britt Reed and the Andy Reid family. It's a tragic story.
That's
tragic story. Horrible story. Andy Reid. I said this. I think Andy Reid and that coaching staff. It's like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Why it was like Eric Bieniemy can't get a job. Why can't that? It's this, that. He's got a DUI. He's got a DUI. You can't hire a guy who had a DUI. That's just going to come back and haunt you. MADD, the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, are going to be all up in your grill piece if that happens. You can't do that.
And Britt said he had 2 to 3 drinks.
Which means 4 to 6. So yeah, no. If he says 2 to 3, number one, just if you ever get pulled over and you've been drinking, don't ever do it. It's the fucking dumbest shit ever. Number one, Uber. Why would you not have Uber? Even the most ridiculous addict can hit the Uber button. I mean, come on, man. Hit the fucking Uber button. Hit the fucking button.
I mean, it's a shame what's happened. Obviously, as a young girl in critical condition.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. No, he should go to fucking jail. He should be in jail if he was intoxicated. If he was intoxicated and that was my daughter in the back, I would have beat the fucking shit out of him. I would have beat his ass on the spot, and then I would have demanded he go to jail.
And another thing that struck me, which is a lot less important in this story, I didn't even know he was on the coaching staff. What were his qualifications of becoming an outside linebackers coach?
No, that's okay. It's like Hunter. He's like Hunter Biden or whatever. You know, you just go along with that for a while. Just stay off the fucking drugs, man. He's an addict. The addicts, it's a legit disease. So I feel for that whole side when Dad's not there your whole life, and all of a sudden, you know, here comes Dad, and it's too late. So now you're an addict. So that's not a good situation. But I feel for him. It's a disease, and he needs help. And unfortunately, it has to go down to this, which his brother was actually a worse case.
Mm-hmm.
But his brother passed it. I think his brother died at Lehigh.
Yes,
with an overdose during training camp, and an overdose at training camp. Yeah, so it's a sad situation. But also, I always point back to the parents. As good a coach as Andy Reid is, he's a shitty fucking father. And addiction sucks, but you need to deal with it daily until your kids are okay. You can't go coach 20-hour days when your fucking family's in a disaster.
Unfortunately,
I was between the coaching staff, it's like he's trying to save people on his coaching staff. Meanwhile, his family at the house it's the Manson family at home.
And unfortunately, we know this firsthand. You mentioned, you know, the 20-hour work days, whatever.
Yeah.
Andy Reid lives football. I mean, it just
and it's gotten to the point where those coaches are so fucking ridiculous. It's like, if you didn't sleep in the office last night, then you're a fucking loser. Well, go home and see your kids, and maybe they won't be on 47 drugs when they're in their 30s.
That's, I mean, obviously the first quarter, the first coach we ever got, you know, accustomed hearing about the work days was Dick Vermeil back in the day. They use the term burned out.
But don't have a family.
Yeah.
Don't have a family. Your kids are suffering. Your kids will suffer when Dad's not in the household. The kids get fucking screwed, man. They suffer. It's horrible. I witnessed it. My kids came through pretty clean, but shit, it's not fun. It's not a fun thing for the children. Divorce.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation. Obviously, it's a little bit of a storyline for today's game. Andy Reid trying to win his second Super Bowl. I mean, it's just a terrible situation all the way around.
And when you're dealing with addiction, it sucks. But he's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to help his kid. But the kid, it's a matter of time. They're ticking time bombs, addicts.
So, but again, let's just get back to the quarterbacks for a situation. And then you go to the NFC, the Eagles, the Bears. Maybe the Bears are a potential landing spot for Wentz. John D. Filippo, I believe, is their either offense coordinator or quarterback coach. He was the quarterback coach here in Philly with Wentz.
I wouldn't be. Yeah, don't be surprised if Wentz ends up in with the Bears. That wouldn't be. That's another potential spot I got for Wentz. It's an outside.
Did you hear the rumor that the trade would be a first round pick, Tariq Cohen and Nick Foles? I mean, how many times? Yeah, can you imagine Nick Foles coming back here?
It's not the worst. It's not the worst thing in the world. It makes sense to bring him back, but you're not targeting Nick Foles, God. So, and he's proven to be just a backup. He's a backup. He's a good backup quarterback, and he'd be great in Philadelphia as a backup. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
As bad as Carson Wentz was last year, I can't believe someone will be willing to give a first round pick for him. If they can get a first round pick, you're in that car, pick him. Just drive right to his house and pick him up. Get him
I would. There's these quarterbacks out there. I'm not giving away the ranch right now, especially with the salary cap disturbance that happened. You're going to draft these. You're going to see the young quarterbacks fly up the board. They're going to fly up the board just because financially it just makes too much sense to pay the quarterbacks, even if you're taking a shot on them. So the 4, 5, 6, 7th ranked quarterbacks just moved up 20, 30, 40 spots because of this COVID.
And think about this. There, maybe 5 or 6 quarterbacks may be different with veteran guys, the Wentzes, the Matt Staffords, Jared Goff. There probably is at least 3, Deshaun Watson, 4, plus 4 first round, probably about 4 first round picks for quarterbacks. There could be, but there could be by mid-season next year, 10 brand new starting quarterbacks, and from the end of 2020, that's quite a turnaround.
Yeah, the hitting the cap is going to be one thing. The $100 million salaries are guaranteed, or they're trying to wipe them out. They were a mistake. So the NFL owners ultimately, it's going to be a collusion effort here, and they're going to try to wipe out these salaries because they're just killing. You can't give a guy. I don't even know how the Cowboys function. I mean,
and I was just going to say that the one quarterback that was the talk of free agency, whatever. We hear nothing about Dak Prescott anymore. You don't even hear his name.
He's the most. He's like Mr. What was the guy? Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. No respect. He gets the least amount of respect of anybody, actually.
But what I'm saying, mid-season, there is Dak coming. He's going. He gets hurt. He'll be back. He'll be back. Whatever. You don't even hear his name anymore.
No, and they're going to franchise their quarterback every year. Dak's been actually an angel, and he's a guy that should go out and take take that. He's only getting 1-year deals basically. Now he snaps his leg and his career's on the line.
Is it me? And we're sticking with the same topic here. Is it me? Or is Jimmy Garoppolo? Why is all the hate? They're trying to get rid of him. And
it's salary. It's all salary. You don't just dump quarterbacks. There's not enough around. So you dump a quarterback for what? Just salary. That's why. Or I wouldn't be dumping them. They're trying to get young players, and with the owners totally screwed the players again by putting a cap on the rookie salaries. So now what they did by putting a cap on that was actually screwed the veterans. The veterans screwed themselves. The NFLPA is so bad. Now the veterans quarterbacks have to take pay cuts. That's the way it's set up. If they don't take a pay cut because based on percentages and COVID and money made and money lost, the salary cap just got hit. So now these $100 million guys don't make sense with the salary caps.
Well, if San Francisco moves on from Garoppolo, I have a feeling he may wind up with Belichick.
Yeah, that's fine. He's just got to take a huge pay cut. He can't go in there and make more than like $10 million on the cap. And he can do that. And if you want to win, you go back to Belichick. That's fine. But who's gonna be the first quarterback? Breeze was the first guy to step up and say, "I'll take a pay cut." And Ben's going to do it too.
Well, the rumor I heard yesterday, the reason why Breeze took a pay cut was when he does retire when he retires in a few weeks or whatever, it may be like an easier cap hit or something. I don't know how true that is or.
Right. So
Drew Brees is done, I think.
Right, but he also agreed to take a cap hit, which was probably guaranteed money. But also Ben's going to play on a reduced salary.
Well, he's going to have to.
Yeah, so that's what all these guys are going to have to do,
Well,
which is a bad precedent for the players. You shouldn't put the players in that type of situation, and they should have what they should do if they're going to have a rookie cap. You get these guys that make it 10 years, then they get an unlimited tab. You can bust a cap if you get a guy who's like Brady. He can make $50 million a year. Once you're a 10-year vet, there's no cap. The cap screws up the NFL. It's screwing up the league.
I think we should. This is actually more. It's more entertaining to talk about than watching the game, I think.
Well, you know what sucks is watching Michael Irvin and Mooch for 14 hours.
They've been on since 9 o'clock this morning. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then you're going to get Boomer and Coward. They're all going to try to say, "Listen, you know what? We're going to reinvent the wheel." No, whoever doesn't turn the ball over wins the game. Whoever's defense plays best wins the game. And stop Tyreek Hill, for God's sakes. Mahomes is too good. So this is the obvious things. And then let's talk about Brady's wife and her jugs and stuff like that. And Mahomes. And Aaron Rodgers' wife, like girl next door.
How about how he slips in after when he wins the MVP last night? Did you see this? He wins the MVP. And they doing it all remotely, thanking the coaches, everyone, and my fiance. He just slipped it in and thanked 33 other people. Brilliant move. That's a brilliant move.
Yeah, and then that means he gets to use the MVP award in bed with her and just dominate her with it.
I believe her name allegedly is Shailene Woodley. I believe she's
yes, Woodley. I did look her up. I did Google her. I'm guilty. I didn't think. Well, you can almost tell a couple's face when they smile. I think Danica Patrick wanted to use a freaking dildo on him. It looked like she didn't look like she liked him being in charge.
Well, you know what I thought would have busted up that relationship? She's a diehard Bears fan, and then she became a Packers fan because she was dating him. That must have killed her.
Yeah, I'm sure his hammer was the only thing that was killing her. So that's all he was killing. He was killing this. But imagine her. She's a tiny little thing, and that's why they were accused of. Yeah, she weighs like 70 pounds. That's why they were complaining. They were saying she was genetically smaller in the car. She was lighter, so they had an advantage.
I imagine she was more aerodynamic.
Yeah, that's so fucking stupid.
That's why she was winning.
Well, how about just get a jockey to drive the damn car then? That's why they do it with the horses too. Jesus Christ.
I agree. But yeah, I thought that was Aaron Rodgers. He's he comes off a little bit of a dick a little bit when you see him, and he doesn't talk a lot. But he's smooth. That was one of the smooth because obviously he's quote TMZ fodder. Everyone wants to know who he's dating and whatnot. He's the MVP of the NFL. And he just slides it in there, and thank, built the bowling alley, is Steve who cuts my hair, the coach, my fiance. I want to thank the trainers, my wide receivers, my running backs. It was perfect.
Yeah, he's good. No, he's definitely smooth. He's Cali cool, but he's got to win another one.
I thought he was going to bring him back in the second half, and he'd be playing in this game today.
No, he played great. The guy and he got fired. I thought the head coach should have got fired too. Was the defensive coordinator took the bullet on that Hail Mary at halftime. Oh my God! Miller must be able to fly, but still, that got the guy fired. It got him. And
a local guy, Mike Penton Jr.
Got him fired. You cannot get beat.
Longtime Central Bucks West guy.
Don't get beat deep.
His father was a coaching legend here.
Don't get beat deep on a Hail Mary, like behind the defense. There should have been the player on the goal line. Just put one guy on the goal line. Jeez, come on.
Yeah, I was actually pulling for Rodgers. I think if we and you may have had this conversation. If Rodgers gets another one or two, you have to kind of put him right underneath Brady. Because
gotta get to
I
it.
think Rodgers is maybe the best pure guy, best pure passer to ever play the game.
He's one of them. He's got a crazy arm. He's got crazy arm strength. I I've said it all along. Most underrated arm strength guy to ever play. He gets the ball anywhere he needs to, very quick.
He's so accurate. He's throwing off the wrong foot, leaning back, throwing passes. I mean, he's so accurate.
Yeah, he's got great feet and a great arm, and he's got great accuracy, and he's a quarterback. So he's a pitcher. He's also like a shortstop type. Like these new quarterbacks, they're so quick with their feet and their hands.
But
the middle infielders.
But guess what? I don't think he was ever drafted in the major leagues.
No, he probably was. He probably didn't want. He probably did not hit one off the facade at the old Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, either in a high school baseball game. And they didn't. They were like, "Oh, I fully won't hit one out." I'm like, "I'm going to hit one out. I'm going to hit one out." The kid threw like a knuckleball that was spinning, and I hit it like 440 off the facade. I claimed it was still rising when it went out, but I could have got it to the upper deck. The ball traveled at the vet. I couldn't believe where the ball landed. It was way up there.
It was in between the upper deck and the lower bowl.
And then I went yard and batting practice at Shea, which was tremendous. But I watched Mark McGuire take batting practice. That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. It was
anything coming out of his arms while he was hitting?
It was like I was trying to get his autograph. Like I had to go through like 15 people. I was like, who are you, Mark? I go, I play quarterback. You're a baseball player. What the hell? I go, you should be getting my autograph. But that was the '98 season. I got his autograph. And Flavio, my buddy, stole the ball.
One day, and because we're going to sign off in a minute. One day, for everyone out there, we're going to tell the Dave Kingman story. Not now, though. The famous Dave Kingman story, and we'll just leave you at that. Dave Kingman established himself as not one of the nicest guys in the history of professional sports.
Joe Torre was also involved in that, and Mookie Wilson.
Hubie Brooks.
Oh, it's Hubie Brooks. I asked him if he was Mookie.
You know what? We might as well say it now. Forget it. We'll just say. I've known Glenn 40+ years, and my father was at a good friendship with Joe Torre, who at the time in 1980 was managing the New York Mets. So Glenn, my brother, and myself, my father, we went to the Mets were in town in Philadelphia, and
that was 1980, huh?
80 or 81, somewhere in there. I don't remember what it was. So that was back in the day. We used to all have our baseball cards, get all the baseball cards signed. So Dave Kingman is sitting by himself in the lobby of the hotel, and we went up.
Solo, dude, by himself, solo, just doing nothing, not reading a paper, not talking to anybody. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was a child. I don't know why. My brain does not work, but I remember the story. And I'm like, we're all like, that's Dave Kingman. I remember, like, that's Dave Kingman. That's Dave Kingman. And sure enough, what do? We go up to him I had his card. We used to call him King Kong, remember?
Yep, King Kong Kingman.
We're like, that's King Kong. That's King Kong. It was like something out of the lot. What was the name? The Sandlot.
Yeah.
We were no different than those Sandlot kids. And man, we found there was our Babe Ruth right there. We're like, yeah, here he is, King Kong Kingman. And we go, Mr. Kingman, can you sign our cards? And instead of just saying no or scram, he goes, I remember that he goes, I'm not Dave Kingman. And we were like,
Dave Kingman's like 6'6".
Head down. I was so upset. But everybody else was great. What's his name signed? All the other guys were signing away, and we got Torrey's autograph and Mookie and Hubie, and I was
all like rookies. But the more of the story is, while my father was speaking with Dave Kingman, with Joe Torre, we told him what happened. And Joe said, Dave, please sign for these young men here.
He did, and he signed it for us. That was funny because Torrey asked him, and he did. He signed for us. That was great. He came through. We got Kingman's autograph. We badgered him. That was great. We rode the elevator. We'd go for the elevator in the elevator, just ride the elevator with the Mets players. Get autographs. That was great. I remember. If I'm not mistaken, your dad had like a silver bird or something like that. Didn't he? T-bird maybe.
Thunderbird, yeah, way back when.
Oh, I remember. How do I remember that? And then we get this. We got everything signed. My batteries would die. We're going through. We got everything signed. All the cars were like, yeah, we got it. And then one of us, we got in a fight. So me and your brother got in a fight, and we started punching each other. We threw the cards out the window, and everybody's cards were gone.
On the Walt Whitman Bridge.
All the Mets cards on the bridge.
Baseball cards were flying out the window on the Walt Whitman Bridge.
There were fist fights in the back seat.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. Good day, good show.
So Home, just the last thing you like the Chiefs by a couple touchdowns.
I like when I tease the NFL. I only tease the NFL games because those 3 points are huge, and I think this one you can get either way. I think you could go.
Just give me your official pick.
38-17 Chiefs.
There you go. 38-17 Chiefs. I'm going to go 27-24 for the home team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm not hating it. I'm not hating on that pick. I'm not hating on that pick. Anything can go.
What I think Brady should do, he should get lucky number 7 and call it a day.
I got Leonard Fournette as the MVP.
Well, how do you Fournette have the MVP if they're going to lose by 3 touchdowns?
Well, this is I'm picking that's my safety pick. But what I have action on the game. I actually have action. I took Tampa +9. Under 62.
There you go.
And I got Fournette with your MVP. And prop bet, there will be a safety in the game.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
It'll be a strategic one late for time purposes.
So hopefully we kept some people's attention and took their mind off the 7-hour pregame show. And they're kicking off in 20 minutes. I'm going to have some food for the all night.
Oh, I'm going tacos for some reason. Tacos, Super Bowl.
We got pizza rolls, pigs in the blanket, all kinds of other stuff. We're having a party, and I'm the only one going to be there.
I'm having a sausage party with myself.
No comment on that.
Later.
No comment. Thank you for joining.